Hey, 49ers faithful. We are back diving into all things San Francisco as the season heats up and the stakes get higher for this team. Coming off their Week 14 bye, the Niners had an unusual pause in the schedule, something that even Kyle Shanahan admitted was a little strange and not something he would wish to experience again. But sometimes, these breaks work in your favor, giving the players a chance to recover, reset, and come back refreshed. San Francisco walked away from that week off feeling healthier and sharper, ready to tackle the critical stretch of games ahead, and there is plenty on the line for this team. The first challenge after the bye week is hosting the Tennessee Titans. On paper, this should be a straightforward matchup given where Tennessee has struggled this season. It is the type of game that everyone expects the Niners to dominate, but make no mistake, a game like this is still a must-win. Losing to a team like the Titans would be a major setback, especially with playoff positioning hanging in the balance. Following that, the team hits the road to face the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football, a game that promised excitement before some last-minute developments reshaped the narrative. Initially, Daniel Jones was the quarterback leading Indianapolis, a player who has shown growth this year, especially with offensive schemes under Shane Steichen. The Colts have a solid offensive line, talented wide receivers, and Jonathan Taylor making a case as one of the best offensive players this season. Defensively, they have been reinforced under new coordinator Lou Anarumo, who has built a reputation for disciplined, competitive units. However, the unexpected happened. Daniel Jones suffered a season-altering Achilles injury, and now the Colts are facing the incredible scenario of possibly starting Phillip Rivers, a 44-year-old legend who has not played since 2020 and has spent the past years coaching high school football. Rivers is older than the head coach and offensive coordinator, and while his experience is undeniable, the question remains whether he can handle a full NFL game on the road. From a purely competitive standpoint, this changes the matchup considerably, but from a spectacle standpoint, this is a storyline that nobody wants to miss. Watching a Hall of Fame-level quarterback like Rivers suit up under these circumstances is compelling, and it adds an extra layer of intrigue to this Niners journey as they continue their playoff push. After the Colts game, San Francisco returns home to host the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football. The Bears, as recently as a week ago, held the number 1 seed in the NFC, but have since fallen behind the Niners in the playoff race. This game has massive implications not only for playoff seeding, but also for division positioning. Every win, every point, and every turnover could shift the trajectory for multiple teams in the NFC West, a division that continues to prove it is one of the most competitive in football. Following the Bears, the Niners face their rivals in Seattle. Week 1 saw San Francisco steal a last-second victory in Seattle, a game defined by clutch plays, defensive heroics, and unforgettable moments. Seattle is now 10-3 and looking to reclaim pride and revenge against the Niners. The rivalry between these two teams is one of the fiercest in sports, marked by intense matchups and high stakes every single time they meet, making this clash even more crucial as the season approaches its final stretch. Looking at the broader NFC playoff picture, the Niners are currently in a favorable position. Recording this ahead of a Thursday Night Football matchup involving the Buccaneers, the seeds are still fluid, but San Francisco is sitting in the 6th seed. The Rams occupy the top spot with a record of 10-3. The Packers are the 2 seed at 9-3-1, and the Eagles hold the 3 seed at 8-5. Seattle comes in at 5 with 10-3, and the Bears have fallen to the 7th seed just behind the Niners. Teams like Detroit, Carolina, and Dallas remain in the mix, making this a wide-open race with the potential for surprises all the way through Week 18. The NFC West, in particular, has become a proving ground for elite football. The division features strong coaching, deep rosters, and balanced talent from top to bottom. One of the most intriguing storylines is how well the Niners have navigated this competitive landscape despite injuries to key players like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Maintaining focus and consistency in such a high-pressure environment speaks volumes about Kyle Shanahan's leadership and the adaptability of the coaching staff. Every matchup is critical, especially against teams like the Rams and Seahawks, who who remain formidable opponents and are direct competitors for playoff positioning. It is crucial for San Francisco to secure the win against Tennessee to keep pace with their division rivals. The Rams' upcoming schedule is tough, featuring back-to-back Thursday games and critical matchups against Detroit and Seattle. Any slip-ups by Los Angeles could be an opportunity for the Niners, but San Francisco must control their own destiny first, starting with dominating the Titans. The Seahawks, meanwhile, face their own challenges. Despite the uncertainty around the Colts' quarterback situation, the Niners know the margin for error is slim. Each game remaining has playoff implications, whether for seeding, home field advantage, or divisional supremacy. One of the most compelling narratives this season is the performance of Robert Saleh and the Niners' defensive unit. After being fired by the Jets, Saleh has returned to San Francisco and revitalized a defense that had struggled in prior years. His ability to innovate and adjust schemes, especially in response to injuries to key players, has been remarkable. The defense has adapted to the loss of stars, implemented creative strategies, and still manages to rank among the top units in points allowed per game. Players like Jair Brown, Demoter Leonard, Ronaldo Green, Kean White, and Clelin Ferrell have stepped up under Saleh's leadership, proving that elite coaching can turn potential weaknesses into strengths. Additionally, the question of succession for Saleh is already a topic of conversation. Internally, Gus Bradley, with his experience in the Legion of Boom defensive system and familiarity with the Niners organization, could be a natural successor. KJ Wright, currently serving as a defensive quality control coach, represents a younger, high-potential option, similar to how Shanahan has successfully developed talent in the past. Externally, names like Jonathan Gannon or Jim Schwartz have surfaced, though continuity within the wide-nine defensive scheme remains a priority. The Niners' ability to balance coaching excellence, adaptability, and player development will continue to define their trajectory as the season moves toward its decisive moments. As we look further into the Niners season, the focus shifts not only to the remaining matchups, but also to the potential playoff implications and the storylines that make this run so compelling. After facing Tennessee and the Colts, San Francisco's journey continues with the Sunday Night Football clash against the Chicago Bears. This game is pivotal for division standings and could very well determine the difference between a high seed and a wild card spot. The Bears may have slipped in recent weeks, but they are still a team with talent and resilience, and they will not go quietly into the night. For the Niners, the ability to execute under pressure, control the tempo, and maintain defensive discipline will be key. Every throw, every tackle, every decision in this game could ripple into the postseason picture. The rivalry matchup in Seattle looms large after that. Week 1 gave the Niners a narrow victory, but Seattle is hungry for revenge. With a record of 10-3, the Seahawks are among the top teams in football, balanced on both sides of the ball, and led by players and coaches who thrive under pressure. Seattle is a team that understands playoff intensity, and facing them on their home turf is as close as it gets to a playoff preview. This is a game that will test every aspect of San Francisco's squad, from the coaching adjustments of Kyle Shanahan to the defensive creativity of Robert Saleh and the execution of players on both offense and defense. Every matchup, from the trenches to the secondary, will carry the weight of both history and playoff positioning. Meanwhile, the path to a number 1 seed in the NFC remains within reach for San Francisco, though it is narrow and requires precision. The simplest path involves winning all remaining games against the Titans, Colts, Bears, and Seahawks. That alone would place the Niners in a strong position, but they would also need some help from the Rams and Packers, who face challenging schedules of their own. Los Angeles will contend with Seattle, the Cardinals, and Detroit, while Green Bay must navigate games in Denver and Chicago. If the Niners can combine victory with a bit of fortune, they could not only capture the division, but also secure home field advantage, a scenario that could be monumental if Super Bowl 60 is held at Levi Stadium in the heart of Santa Clara, California. The thought of potentially playing the championship game on home turf adds an extra layer of motivation and intensity for this team, driving every practice, every meeting, and every snap on the field. Throughout this stretch, the coaching acumen of Kyle Shanahan stands as a defining factor. Shanahan's ability to adapt, design creative plays, and motivate his players has been critical in the Niners' success. Every week, whether facing a top-tier opponent or a team struggling to find its rhythm, Shanahan and his staff demonstrate the kind of preparation and strategic planning that separates elite teams from the rest. This year, he has maximized the talent around him, balancing offensive ingenuity with defensive resilience. And that defensive side, led by Robert Saleh, has become one of the most fascinating stories in football this season. Saleh's leadership, creativity, and adaptability have transformed a unit facing injuries and adversity into a formidable force. Despite losing players like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, the defense has consistently limited scoring and created opportunities for turnovers, demonstrating that coaching and preparation can overcome even significant obstacles. Player development has also been a highlight. Younger players like Jair Brown, Demoter Leonard, Ronaldo Green, Kean White, and Clean Ferrell have stepped into critical roles, contributing significantly to the team's success. The ability of the coaching staff to integrate these players and maximize their impact speaks volumes about the culture Shanahan and Saleh have cultivated in San Francisco. It's a culture of discipline, resilience, and creativity, where players are encouraged to adapt, learn, and contribute in meaningful ways. This is why the Niners continue to win even when faced with adversity, and why fans can be optimistic about their playoff chances despite challenges elsewhere in the NFC. As we think about potential playoff matchups, the Niners' positioning could dramatically affect the road ahead. Winning the NFC West would give them a home field advantage and, with it, the opportunity to control playoff scenarios. However, if they fall to a wildcard position, the road becomes significantly tougher. Matchups against teams like the Rams or Seahawks in the opening round would be daunting, but the Niners have proven they can rise to the occasion in hostile environments. The team has a history of overcoming challenges in big games, particularly against Green Bay and other top NFC contenders. Shanahan's strategic acumen, combined with Saleh's defensive ingenuity, makes San Francisco a team that can compete with anyone, even on the road. Injuries and player availability will continue to be critical factors. The status of key offensive weapons, particularly wide receivers, will shape the offense's effectiveness. Players like Brandon Ayuk, if healthy and motivated, could dramatically elevate the team's passing game alongside Ricky Paywall, Joan Jennings, and Demarcus Robinson. The combined talent of these receivers could create one of the most dynamic passing attacks in the league, forcing opposing defenses to account for multiple threats on every play. Conversely, if injuries or internal conflicts limit their contributions, the offense will need to rely on creative play calling and execution to maintain effectiveness. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating all morning, and now the tension is palpable in Nashville. Inside sources suggest that the Titans camp is in absolute disarray following a shocking last-minute update that could drastically alter the dynamics of their upcoming showdown against the San Francisco 49ers. Though official statements remain scarce, multiple hints point to internal chaos that fans have never seen before. Coaches are reportedly scrambling to adjust strategies, while players are said to be caught off guard, unsure how to respond to the unexpected twist that emerged just hours ago. The nature of this update is being kept under wraps, but insiders hint it may involve either critical injuries, sudden lineup changes, or a disruption in the team's preparation plans. Whatever it is, it seems to have thrown the Titans' rhythm off completely. Social media is abuzz with speculation, with fans theorizing everything from questionable quarterback decisions to last-minute roster shifts. Commentators are already framing the scenario as a turning point that could give the 49ers a psychological advantage before they even step onto the field. Meanwhile, the 49ers camp appears unusually calm. Observers suggest that San Francisco may have anticipated some form of disruption from their rivals, and they could be ready to capitalize on whatever the Titans staff struggles to contain. Pundits are already questioning whether the Titans can recover their focus in time, and whether this sudden shakeup could tip the scales in a game that was expected to be tightly contested. Inside the locker room, tension reportedly runs high. Players are said to be holding emergency meetings, reviewing contingency plans, and trying to regain their composure. Meanwhile, fans in the stands and online are divided between concern and disbelief. Could this chaotic update be the defining factor that swings momentum toward the 49ers, even before kickoff? As speculation continues to mount, one thing is certain. The Titans are under pressure like never before, and the 49ers could be the ultimate beneficiaries of this dramatic turn of events. Stay tuned, because if the rumors prove true, the ripple effects of this revelation could be felt well beyond the stadium. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.